It's the wrestling live stream, but it's also making an impact. It's a twofer. Though we're not giving you, 80 minutes. It's like you'll be lucky to get like 28. just how it is. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about in tonight's show. Turning Point, the Knockouts Impact Tag Team Title Tournament, and a potential former current retiree coming back to the company to tag with Jordan Grace. What is going on? I don't know. I'm your host, as always, Chad Porto, and joining me is the glorious one himself, Marcus Green. Marcus, how are you?
What's going on, everybody? Good.
So that brings us to the show from Saturday. Marcus, I gotta ask just general feelings on the show before we go into the details. What do you think of Turning Point from Saturday night?
It was definitely an uptick from Bound for Glory. Although I think it's a unanimous decision across Tender Cove halls and the internet. It wasn't exactly a high bar to cross, but I did think it was a solid show. They've been doing pretty good with these monthly specials. I'm digging them. For some reason, they seem to be putting more effort and for some reason logic into the monthly specials than the full out pay-per-view sometimes, but kind of is what it is. But it was enjoyable, across the board. I think they put together a solid show.
I have mentioned this before. I love these types of shows because they offer something different. I think this show would have been much better if they really kind of put a different flavor forward with like the main event. One of the more iconic, CD shows in the history of WWE, or even a B show, if you will, was the 1997 Spring Stampede pay-per-view, which really only had one match on it that anyone cared about, and it was like an hour long. It was the Hart Foundation, Davey Boy, Neidhart, Pillman. I think it was Pillman. Or it was Pillman. Pillman passed away at that point. I think Pillman was still there. Bret Hart and Owen Hart versus Stone Cold, Ahmed Johnson, I think the Road Warriors, and Ken Shamrock. And it was like this big 10-man tag. I think I called it Spring Stampede. It's Calgary Stampede. And it was just a big 10-man tag match, but it's really, really damn good. And I would like to see more of those, very rare kind of matchups happen on these types of events. I really liked the Swann Callahan match. I really did. But like the idea of like Rich Swann and Sabin and Storm and Eddie versus Daivari, Callahan, and Triple XL would have been really cool, I think. And you could have gone 40 minutes with that. It could have been hot. But I don't hate the way we went. I just think that when you have these specials, it needs to be something different as opposed to what you have normally for your regular pay-per-view. So I think that's kind of where I'm at with this. There wasn't any really big surprises or debuts. We got Daivari back. We did get one. Actually, we did get one debut. I should watch myself on that one. We did get one debut, but most of it, kind of went the way we expected it. But I do agree wholeheartedly. This was much better than Bound for Glory. It felt like they were rectifying a lot of decisions made at Bound for Glory. But one of the things I think this show also spoke to with regards to Bound for Glory is that they did a lot of booking decisions at BFG because of issues with Kylie and Alex Shelley, which are vastly different. Kylie had a mental breakdown and Shelley was legitimately hurt. I think the idea all along was to have the Machine Guns go into this event as champions for the Good Brothers, or have the Good Brothers beat the Machine Guns at Bound for Glory. But due to the injury with Alex Shelley, things were changed. And then I think with the Kylie Ray, Deanna Praza stuff, I think Deanna was supposed to lose to Kylie, but they ended up doing the Sue Young situation at Bound for Glory because they wanted to come into, they wanted to leave the show with some big surprises and to get people buzzing, and I think that's why Sue Young won the belt back for a second time. So I think this show really did help rectify a lot of those decisions that they made impulsively at Bound for Glory. And I think that they made a lot of correct decisions, although I'm sitting here kind of wondering why they made some of the decisions in the first place. But, that's neither here nor there. That doesn't mean the show is perfect, but let's get into it beat by beat. Marcus, First matchup, Eddie Edwards versus Daivari. What'd you think of this one?
I tell you, man. Also, we got the Swovari is what we're gonna call him. I'm gonna call him
Swavari.
Swovari. Swovari. Back at BFD, and it was cool. You know, he's probably in the best shape of his life, I would imagine. If it's not, Jesus. But yeah, it was just cool to see him again. He's a OG in Impact, and come on, man, you can't have a good match with Eddie Edwards. You know, it's you. You know, so solid way to kick off the show. You know, hopefully we get some more of them. Obviously, maybe down the line in the more storyline types of deals. But it's cool to see, you know, some OGs back in Impact.
He's only 36, and there's really no reason not to bring him on more often if he wants. Like, and that's the thing. Like we say, like, oh, they should sign James Storm. Well, James Storm doesn't want to sign. You know, he's made it clear he's pretty happy in the situation he's in. So, like, I would love if James Storm came back. Bring back Chris Harris. Bring back AMW. Re-sign Daivari. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but these words are about to leave my lips. Signing Daivari today would be a huge improvement over going back and re-signing EC3. I didn't mean to say it, but it's true. I would much rather see what Daivari has to do with Impact going forward than go back to the narrative machine EC3. We've gone so far from trouble.
Well, he's still in it.
Well, yeah, but now it's his own damn fault. I like this match, and I'm with you. I want more Daivari. Love me some Eddie. Really happy that this match went the way it did. We then have Rosemary and Taya versus Tenille, Tenazal, Dashwood, and Jordan Grace.
Nasal.
Hazel. This was great. I like Rosemary and Valkyrie's kind of like duality. Rosemary's dark and red, and Taya's very light and white and blue, and I like that. I like when opposites attract. Hey, look at the show for a reason. Hey, how are you?
Hey, man, we kill it. Period.
Because we are the fire. Although that might not mean the same thing to other people as it does for us. We are here to burn down your good time.
Exactly. I just love how they taking the concept because I've said it before on other shows, specifically Comical, how much I love Batman Forever. I just love how they taking that, the two beautiful young ladies that were with Two-Face and taking that dark and light concept and just turning it into a thing. Specifically with Rosemary, because this is very much, I feel like not the evolution, but like another version of like the Demon and the Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I didn't think I dig it, but the fact that they're not a random ragtag. Like this got built up to with her and Taya, obviously through John E. Bravo. Still praying for Bravo, I guess. We're still praying for Bravo. Yeah, man, they're a really cool tandem, and it's really between them and obviously. I'm biased, but between them and Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, to me, those are the top two to potentially win those straps. But yeah, this is cool. Jordan and Tenille, it was always gonna be touch and go. Poor Alicia, just like the puppy in the middle, just trying to get an owner.
She was on. I don't know if you caught this match on Impact. She was actually on Impact in their tournament match, and she was really good. I was really happy with what we got out of her tonight. I think she's slowly creeping her way into a personality and gimmick that will really, really be her thing. Like the neon and bright colors is like 100% making her pop. We just got to find more of the attitude to go with the look now. And I think she's slowly starting to kind of develop it, which I like. The Rosemary Taya stuff I really like because this is not a 6-month buildup. This is not a year buildup. This is nearly 3 years worth of storylines being built up. Because when Rosemary was champion, Taya was going to be one of her biggest challengers. I think that was, 2017, 2018?
Yeah. Actually, you know what's funny? Because, of course, shout out to Wrestle House. She showed her debut clip, and she debuted and jumped Rosemary.
Yeah. Like that's how like these two have been interwoven for literally years. I'm trying to remember exactly when Taya debuted. I want to say it was 2017, but then she had visa issues, I think, so she couldn't continue showing up. Let's double check. She debuted in 2017, September 2017. She
Yeah, she was
jumped
the war queen.
Rosemary.
Yep.
She was
Oh,
what
that's
was
funny.
her name? The War Queen, you said?
Yeah, when she had that slow music where she would kind of just almost wedding style walk to the ring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with her Queen
Oh,
of the what is it? Cinderella with the giant crown lady, I guess. I'm trying to think. Like,
yeah.
it was one of those Disney reboots from like the last 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, you
Snow
talking about
White?
Frozen?
No, no, it was a live action one. It starred Michelle Pfeiffer, I think.
Oh, Maleficent.
Is that what it was?
Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah, I mean Michelle was she played in the sequel to Maleficent. She was the mom of the son that was supposed to marry the the Sleeping Beauty girl.
Yeah, well, you're right, and that's exactly the crown I was thinking of too. So that's the crown
Yeah.
Taya kind of had, that very spiky thing.
Yeah, but they go back years they
Yeah.
go back beefing, hand it down. So
So that's cool. They get the win because Tennille did she tag out Jordan and Jordan left, or did she tag Jordan in and Jordan got pinned? I want to say it was the first one.
yeah, yeah. I just know it had. I think Jordan got pinned, didn't she? Yeah, I think Jordan got pinned. Because there was an after segment when Lish came up and was like, I think she should be called Jordan Disgrace. Oh man.
If she's just gonna do dad jokes, like, all right, I'm on. Let's do it. Just all the dad jokes, all the dumb name jokes. Like I'm 100% for it. Like I'm fine with it. Oh, Alicia, you're so adorable. We then got Brian Myers versus Swaggle, which might have been the worst match on the card. I don't have a problem, and actually I was thinking to myself, was it you who brought up the idea of bringing back the menagerie? Or was that Swisher? I think it
I
may have
don't
been Swisher.
know if it's switch. I think I just referenced the menagerie because I always bring up I guess bringing all of Impact's old shaky ideas. Although when I found out that was like a Christy Hemme thing, I was like, oh,
Wait, the
that's not
menagerie
good.
was a Christy Hemme thing?
Something to that effect. Like she had a lot to do with it because she had a little influence when she was there. Um, obviously like when she was there until obviously the Aries thing happened and then something else happened after that and she left. But yeah, I think she had a lot to do with the menagerie. I just
What?
I just remember when they had some dudes on stilts coming out and one of them fell. You remember that?
I do. Uh, so I remember she hired Rebel or got Rebel hired. I did know that, but it makes sense she would have fingerprints all over the menagerie, and that's just ugh. But like, I could see Hornswoggle and Crazy Steve and like a few other like random roustabouts, kind of getting together and doing like an oddity stable. Like I could see that, and maybe Swoggle would have a place in that. But as an in-ring wrestler, he's not good. He's slow. He's uncoordinated. He has zero athleticism. And listen, I get it. Like, Impact like showing off like women can compete with men, and Swaggle's a little person, but he can compete with the big guys. But El Torito's out there, right? Or is that his name, Torito? El Torito?
Yeah.
He's out there. Go sign him. He was really
Well,
good.
who was the guy? Which the guy brought Hornswoggle to his only like 3 to 4 star match with that WLC.
Yup.
Um, but who was the I forgot the little person that they had in Lucha Underground, but he was good. Like at this point, I'll take what was the name? PP Escolata from Lucha Underground. PP, whatever the name was. Um, but yeah, man, like we already not psyched to see Brian. No, nothing. personally against him. You don't do anything for us. But then you add Swoggle to the mix, and it's like, come on, man. Like we knew what this match was gonna be. That's exactly what it was. Kudos for Brian for playing along. But this was a nothing match. This could have been on a pre-show if they did one.
I wouldn't even want it on a pre-show. I wouldn't even want it on an explosion match, truth be told. Like, there's nothing wrong with Swoggle as a character, but specifically as a wrestler, he's not very good. And I don't know how you kind of come through that, so to speak. You can't overcome that huge of an issue. If you're not good in the ring, you're screwed. If you're not believable in the ring, you're screwed. Speaking of believable, Triple XL, they're very believable. They're big boys. They took on James Storm and Chris Sabin, and this was a really fun little match. I really think, terrible tattoos and hairline aside, Larry D's really, really good.
Yeah, man. Like I've really been digging, Double XL these last few months, man. Like I said, they had a banging match. I think that was at the last monthly special. They had a banging match with the Rascals.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually get to later, but these two guys, this was another two persons thing that they put together, because I think AC Romero came in on his own. It was kind of floundering there for a minute. Then I think this has been a perfect fit for the both of them, man. And hopefully they don't, sputter out, that they, give these guys some real momentum, because I really do think, kind of like a lot like Cousin Jake and
Cody Deaner.
These guys can be, sleepers, if you give them the right scenario to play in. So, I dig these guys, but they was against two vets, man. What can you do?
Sabin and Storm looked fantastic. We mentioned before that if they won, then that might be a sign that Storm's sticking around. So, we'll see. Because he might be. Who knows? And if he does, that would be. I would enjoy that. Next up, we had Rohit versus Cousin Jake. He was the surprise opponent. By the by, Cousin Jake and Cody ends up finding a gun in Bravo's. What the hell is that? Knapsack? No, that's not right. Fanny pack. And
you talking? Not in Dreamers. That was in
Bravos.
What the freak?
No.
Well, not Bravo. You thinking about freak? What's his? Damn it! Swinger.
Swinger. That's it. The Swinger. There it is. Yeah, they found the gun in Swinger's knapsack or whatever it was, and they're like, "Oh, Swinger did it." I mean, we know he did it. It's a red herring, but still. So they literally come out right after finding the gun in Swinger's fanny pack, and Jake really I was really impressed with Jake in this match. Either that's a sign that Jake is putting together, or that Rohit's really good at carrying opponents. But I shockingly enjoyed this match, and Rohit got the clean win.
This is my second favorite match of the night because of how much I'm like, damn, this is a good thing. I loving about Rohit. Like everything is just coming together right now for Rohit. Like he was a guy that could have easily been just left completely floundering in the long term, which he was in the short term a little bit. But he's really coming to his own, coming out of that Desi Hit Squad scenario. Yeah, he's not one of these pussified heels. He has, like scared heel instances, but he'll get in there and bang with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was, to your point, I think it was both parties. I think Jake is like I said, with going back to Triple XL, like a sleeper. You get this guy some time and he'll show and prove, and then Rohit is just showing all the stuff he really never got to show when he was with the Hit Squad. Honestly, the mocha skin manimal, like everything's just coming together for this dude. So it was just a cool match to see. I wouldn't mind seeing them two link up again. That was a really good match.
Yeah, totally. I also enjoyed the fact that Rohit's starting to really show himself on his mic skills. He's a solid talker, man. Speaking of which, we gotta sit down and put together our year-end awards, because it's that time,
Yep.
folks. I think we'll do that this weekend. Willie Mack defeated Moose. This match pissed me off. Like, bell to bell, it was really good. Mack played the like a great hero in trouble all match, and Moose was just fucking brickhousing him every other turn. I loved it. This was one of the better matches, but then the ending really pissed me off. I like the idea of ref stoppages in wrestling because if wrestling is supposed to be simulated combat sports, one of the things that happens in combat sports is that the ref waves off matches. So seeing Moose beating the shit out of Mac, and then the ref waving it off, I'm like, oh, that's an awesome ending, because it really just shows not so much like any deficiencies with Mac, but how Moose has changed ever since that pedantic ass feud with EC3. But then he gets back on top and starts ending again. I'm like, why? Like, this is a cheap tactic that doesn't work anymore. No one's going to go, oh, you dastardly heel, boo. And this is 1968, man. The jig's up. We know what's going on. And I feel like still booking like it's 1964 is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Have Moose win by ref stoppage. That's the story. Everything else was just stupid.
Yeah, it's weird. Obviously, we know Mac is a top tier guy, and he's been another person that's kind of spun out a little bit since, because a lot of his kind of stopping stuff has kind of been because he's been so much around Swann's drama a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of just defending, yeah, a lot of it has been around Swann and him defending his friends, but it's not picked up to get the type of momentum and now success that Swann is seeing. But I did appreciate the fact that they did bring it back around. These two have history, and that Mac would just catch hands with him at any time. And Moose did this great beatdown on what that was, the last Impact before this show. And I like the fact, because you have to kind of try to gain something out of that, like you said, pedantic ass feud with EC3. So I like the fact that it looked like he turned up his aggression.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it was a ref stoppage, and you kind of just leave it at that. Because I don't want Moose to get into the thing where it's like, and it's weird to say, but like somebody can have momentum but still be in a holding pattern at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully they don't do that. That's why I think it's a good idea. Hopefully that Storm sticks around, because that could definitely be a guy for him to run into that used to be a former TNA champion when it was legit, but then also somebody that's not really an easy hurdle for him to just get over like that, because Storm is, that guy. So, but yeah, I mean, got unfinished business with Mac for sure.
It doesn't say this on the Wikipedia article, but this was a TNA World Championship match. That's what David Penzer said as the match began. So, what you want? So we move on, and we want not this. Marcus, the Good Brothers defeated the North to win the tag team titles. We knew it was going to happen. Like, Carl Anderson's really entertaining as a wrestler. But Doc Gallows is everything that I hate in wrestling. He's just so bad. And the worst part is, like, I feel like he's going around going, what you mean you're worried about the Rona? It ain't real, brother. Like, I believe that's who he is as a human being.
Oh, man. It's, like I said, I like both guys. I mean, look, this guy's came a long way from Ring the Bell. He is Festus, right?
True.
He is aggressive Festus, I should say.
Aggressive Festus.
But
sounds like a holiday. Are you celebrating Aggressive Festus this year?
That's all we know how to do post the Trump era. Aggressive Festus.
Aggressive Festus. For those of us that want a more violent Christmas, it's Aggressive Festus. Throw your Christmas tree away and get a barbed wire bat.
On the Curtis Axel swag. He never lost.
He's still the Royal Rumble champion.
But, yeah, Carl Anderson, man, love all stuff New Japan. For some reason, like I said, I like both guys, but they're just not really doing nothing for me on this show. They're mildly entertaining backstage on the mic in some of those segments, but all to me they're doing is having I guess, another platform to push their merch and everything that comes along with that. I've not watched one, um, whatever type of mania they got going on, Russell Shopper Mania or something like that.
Talking
Not
chop
on
or
plan.
talk a chop or shop a talk.
Talking Shopper Mania, yeah. I guess the gimmick is that it's a bad show on purpose. I have no time to watch it. I have no time for it. But God bless them. But yeah, I can't root against the North. It's the North, you know. I was happy when they put the straps back on them, but again, and this feels like another instance of, hey, you sign with us, you're eventually gonna get the stripes. Like it just kind of feels like that.
Here's your travel papers, your first check, your contracts all night, and here's your promise of your first world title. Standard signing with the company. Oh God, did they sign Swoggle?
Oh Jesus.
I don't care what
Oh.
title Swoggle wins. It would kill the title. It would kill it. No.
Just give him the old King of the Mountain strap.
No.
Oh man.
It's still too good. We have to. We forgot to mention this. After the Rohit Jake match, Eric Young came down with Joe Doring and beat up Cousin Jake and Cody Deaner. Now, Eric Young, he's still on my television screen, so you know, boo.
Boo.
but then Joe Doring's here, and Joe Doring is amazing. He's the Minoru Suzuki of Old Japan is the best way to put him. The dude is a killer, straight up. I think he was tagging with the former James Radine, who's going by Dylan James now, for a little while in All Japan. He also won the Triple Crown Championship at one point. He actually did show up on a monthly special a year ago, 2 years ago, for Impact. So I've been a big fan of his since 2005, I want to say. He was a former former Deep South guy, I think, if I remember correctly. So seeing him was cool. Marcus, we talked a little bit about this off air, but how did you feel about seeing Joe Doring?
Yeah, it's funny. It's weird. It's we talked about this before too, like the difference between like some guys got show muscle, other guys got go muscle. EY looks very intimidating, mostly because he looks like a tatted up, hyper aggressive naked mole rat. But
and that's why Kim Possible always won.
Who's shy? But yeah, Joe Doran just had. He kind of reminds me of. I had to look twice and get a real good look up because I thought it was like a severely aged version of Kid Cash. But
6'3" Kid Cash.
That's why I was like, wait a minute, that's not him. But yeah, man, he's just pure intimidation. The fact that he came in and basically went after the right one because he hossed Jake.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that's the statement. And of course, you got him, and then you got old crazy ass EY. That is a horrendous combination. I'd like to see them clash. I mean, obviously we don't see a lot of heel on heel, but it'll be in this iteration that they got Shamrock in for them two to kind of run into Shamrock and Sammy.
Mm-hmm. Here's a little bit of his history. He's won the World Tag League, the World's Strongest Tag Determination League tournament 3 times in 2018, 2013, and 2007. He's won it with Dylan James, the former James Radine. He's also won it with Swama, I think I'm saying that right, as well as Keiji Muto back in 2007. He's won the World Tag Team titles in All Japan 4 times, once with Swama, once with Saya Sanada, once with Kono, and once with Muto. And he's a 2-time Triple Crown heavyweight champion, and the Triple Crown is the most prestigious championship in All Japan. And it's been held by men like Vader and Stan Hansen and Jumbo Tsuyoda. I mispronounced that completely. Terry Gordy. So it's Juan Akiyama. There's a lot of big names held it, and he just held it 3 years ago in 2017 to mark his second reign, which he did, Marcus, after having a brain tumor removed. Not like immediately after, that'd be insane. But he had an issue with his brain in 2016, and I think he took about 6 or 7 months off after he had just dropped the belt and came back and won the belt sometime later. So he won his first title in 2014. In 2016, he had the tumor in his brain removed, and then in 2017, he won the belt back. So, dude is legit tough.
Yeah.
Dude, don't fuck with Joe Doring. I'm trying to think. What was that? The Wolfpack theme. Don't turn your back on Joe Doring because you might wind up in a body bag. I want to see more Haas guys in Impact. Like I really do. Like I would love to see Jay Bradley back. But like in shape Jay Bradley, not like 50 pounds overweight Jay Bradley.
Yeah.
Preferably.
We don't ever need to see like oh, let's get Tyrus back. He's fit now. No.
There's a line. There's a line. We don't need Tyrus back. Joe Doring very much looks like a modern day Stan Hansen too, so that very much fits the vibe. So we then go on to the semi-main, Deonna Purrazzo versus Su Yung in a no DQ match. I didn't realize it was no DQ until like someone threw a trash can at someone else, and I'm like, oh, so that's how they do it in their family, like a line out of fucking Ferris Bueller. So that's how they do it in their family. What do you think of Purrazzo Young?
I liked it. I dug it. She tweeted something after the match. She was like, "This was the perfect scenario for me because you give me enough time to plan, and I can work in the scenario to my advantage." This was just another thing where she kind of just had to turn it up. Like you said, this. I'm glad she got the victory. I think it was the best idea to put it back on Deonna. She is clearly, and this is not to take any shot, but as a character, and as somebody now contractually. On the roster, she's something very stable in that division that you can count on. And it was a good match. They both did their thing. This is more so Sue's wheelhouse. I don't think we've ever, really jumped over the moon about any of her matches, but she does what she needs to do as that character perfectly fine. I dug this match, and Deonna. I think the reason why I put the Rohit match as like my second favorite besides the main event, which we'll get to. You called it out on Twitter. She had her in the Venus de Malo, which is her double Fujiwara armbar, I guess. And like if the point is because you can win a match obviously by, like you said, ref stoppage.
Mm-hmm.
And she had her in there. She couldn't tap, but looked like she was passing out, and she just lets go. And I'm like, the freak are you doing? Like, what are you doing? It's like one of those movies where they finally get this horse freak of nature thing down that's been chasing them through the woods, and they don't take a headshot. Like, oh, he tripped and fell. Let's stare at him for 5 minutes and then run off again. Like, what are you doing? She don't like it. And then is this the first time they did the WWE thing where they do the arm trap 3 times? Because I feel like they usually do it just once.
All time, I don't know, but it's the first time in a long time, and it's also the first time that they did it after the hold was released.
Yeah,
like I've never seen, like even in WWE, I've never seen that. Usually, it's done when the guy's in the sleeper hold and they do it, and then he hulks up. But she has it locked in. Sue's unresponsive. Deonna lets go, and the ref's like, "Well, now's a good time to check on her." Raw. I'm like, "What are you doing? Who booked this?" Like, that's how you end the match. Like, I don't even remember how it ended in actuality. I just remember being angry at the last 98 seconds of it. I was like, ugh.
I was thinking to myself, like, I really did like this match. And then I thought about, like, no, I didn't like this match because that was a hard stop for me. And then they kept going, and obviously she debuted her Costa de Nostra finisher, which is like a cradle pile driver or something like that. But yeah, she debuted that and then she beat her. But yeah, that was just awkward. I don't know who. It's weird. I've seen a lot of this year like weird referee moments where like sometimes the refs are just not there for whatever reason. They're there, but they're not there. Like the minute somebody picks up a weapon in a straight up and down exposition match, the ref's supposed to be like, "Hey, what the hell you doing? Give it to me." Like this, I've seen instances like that where the ref just pretending like that wasn't happening. Um, we've seen multiple instances where the referee is like, "Ah, I guess this is a tornado tag," and it's not a tornado tag at all. And then it's a situation like this. So I don't know what's going on, but we need to get Bravo back from the dead so he can start reprimanding more referees.
I also love that Deanna Pratt is going whole hog into her Italianness. The Venus de Milo. Well, what was the new move called?
She called it the Costa Nostra.
I think that means good night. So yeah, we get it, Deanna. You're Italian. I mean, I'm not even mad. I'm just being a jackass at this point. Okay. Main event: Swann, Callahan, Marcus. Thoughts?
Look, like I said, we feel a certain way about him as champion, but I can't deny, man, a guy puts on a hell of a match. I've liked all three of the main events that he's been in for these last three branded shows. Swan gets it done in that ring. That's to me that's not debatable when it comes to him. And Callahan is a hell of an opponent. They have had some really great matches, great chemistry. And this was another showing of that. I'm trying to see, did we get a Shamrock interference?
Yes, but Eddie came out and stopped it.
Yeah, it came out and stopped it. And I think obviously Swann retained. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. I like that. I like that ending showing just Callahan is just this thing that just keeps pressing forward. And yeah, they put on a good thing. I'm just happy to get these two in a match when they're not slobbering all over the place like frickin' St. Bernard's. So,
It was all right. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I was so over the moon. It was good.
Yeah.
It was what it was. It was a lot better than the Eric Young match, but I know a lot of people also enjoyed that. It's Eric Young. Like, come on, come on, Pope, come on, people. Come on. All right. Swann retains. Callahan definitely has a vendetta. Now Swann has to deal with Ken Shamrock on next week's episode of Impact. Marcus, do we think that this is actually going to turn into any type of situation where Shamrock could actually win the title? Or do you think this is just going to be built up to Moose versus Swann eventually?
I'm going to lean towards the Moose versus Swann. The only reason why I'm not leaning towards Ken is because he's technically like he's the baddest man in the world, but he's playing like the side guy to Callahan. That's never made any sense to me. We've never really even gotten a definitive explanation for what all of a sudden turned him to Callahan the attack dog for whatever reason. Like they try to make it seem like as a tag dog, which makes no sense to me. If he was going under his own thing like he was before, I believe it specifically because he, tap anybody out with that ankle lock. The only way I give him the edge is if I could believe that the long-term booking would be he takes the belt off Swann and then Callahan pulling a Triple H. If he's not champion, not even his dad could have the title without him trying to kill him, right? So, but I can't trust him to pull that. So I think I'm gonna go with Swann Moose type of deal.
I'm still hoping Shamrock wins the world title. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Marcus, let's move on to the Knockouts Tag Team title brackets. We already have the first elimination, so we can add that to the little list of Rooney. We have Tennille and Tenile. Dash and Alicia taking on Havoc and Nivea. That's already gone down. Havoc and Neva ended up winning because Tennille pretty much threw Alicia to the wolves. But Alicia looked really good in this. I was really pleased with that. The other stuff in this match, though, was all right. I knew they were going to advance because they are Havoc and Neva are like one of the few tag teams in this tournament, and they really want things to, keep going with this. But at the end of the day, I was fine with them, and it is what it is, and we'll see what happens next round. We then have an interesting matchup where it's Killer Kelly and Renee Michelle, two people who were with the WWE and NXT for a time. They're taking on Jordan Grace and a mystery opponent. Then we also have Kira Hogan and Tasha Steelz. They're taking on the Sea Stars, who is made up of Ashley Vox. Let me see who the other woman is. Ashley Vox and Delmi Exo. They're sisters, apparently. They're taking on Kira Hogan and Tasha Steelz, and then in the last match, it's Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly taking on Taya and Rosemary. And Deonna and Kimber did a little promo on tonight's episode of Impact where they talked about adding new gold and how Kimberly would like to have some gold around her waist too. So who knows how that's going to go. Marcus, looking at the bracket, how do you feel?
I'm digging the bracket, obviously, with Nevaeh and Havoc. They're kind of the horses in this tournament, specifically with the size advantage over most of their opponents, you would imagine. So, that's to be expected. The rest of the bracket look promising. I'm glad they're kind of infusing, some fresh talent in there, obviously. And the concept of Deonna and Kimball being in there and potentially add gold is cool too. Although that's to me up in the air, considering they still got a dead bride problem dangling in the atmosphere. I'm also trying to figure out. Apparently, Kimberly got to get out of the dead realm free call for Madison Rain. Because she got out of there rather quickly. So
It is a thing, Marcus. It's a thing. Of the names, so we have Taya and Rosemary, Deonna and Kimber, the Sea Stars, Hogan and Steelz, Jordan and TBA, Killer Kelly and Renee Michelle. Who do you think is going to advance to the Final Four? Because we got some names here. Because we already got Neva and Havoc in one bracket. Who else? Who do you see joining them? Of Killer Kelly, Renee Michelle versus Jordan Grace and her mystery opponent. Who wins that match?
You said it's Killer Kelly and
Renee Michelle versus Jordan Grace and a mystery opponent.
I want to say Jordan Grace and a mystery opponent. Also, we talk about who that could potentially be, but I can't see them just putting Jordan out like that. I mean, she is a former knockout champion, probably one of the best that they got in the division right now, and just the whole concept of that mystery opponent is even more tantalizing. So I see them going over.
Kira Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus the Sea Stars.
It's gonna be cool to see the Sea Stars, but I'd be severely disappointed if Hogan and Steelz get bounced out of the first round after all the momentum they've been building up on Impact.
I very much like the idea of watching the Sea Stars advance, but this is not the match to have them in. Like, if you wanted the Sea Stars to advance, you put them against someone else. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I think so far we are on the same page. Then finally, the big toss-up, the 1 versus 2 seed, if you will. Purrazzo and Kimberly versus Taya and Rosemary.
I liked it. I dig the match. But you working against 2 former knockout champions and a more gelled team, both in personality and now in ring, that just are firing on all cylinders right now. And Kimberly, Deonna have tag, but not and I don't think they got that gelling type of pair. It's more of a watch Deonna lead and Kimberly kind of follows a little bit. And they also, like I say, got an undead issue still lingering. So I'm going with Rose and Taya.
I could see this going either way because I still think the Taya Rosemary situation is going to come to a head. I don't see them being the new Bunny and Demon forever. So if that is where they're going, that could happen very much here. Or you go to the main event, the finals with them versus Jordan and her mystery opponent or Havoc and Neva. So it's very much a situation that could go either way at this point, and I'm curious to see how it does shake out. Who do you think the mystery opponent is? Because I alluded to you off air that it might be Kylie Ray because Jordan made a mention of, you had mentioned or she had commented on, possibly retiring. Jordan's like, I'm so glad I got you to do this, even though I knew you were about to retire. I thought, Kylie, you threw out Awesome Kong.
Yeah, Austin Kong's a name. Taryn's a name. Um,
There's
I mean,
Taryn, there's Awesome Kong, there's Taylor Wilde.
yeah, Taylor Wilde. Did Jazz just retire? Or she's gonna
Oh,
retire?
Jazz did just retire.
Okay.
And she
We know it's
fits
not.
she fits the aesthetic. Two jacked up
Yeah,
chicks.
this is true. Jacqueline officially retired,
Yeah, she's been retired, and Jacqueline's pushing 60.
right? Okay. Well, she's out. Even if she was interested in coming back, Kimmy is no option. Um, let's see who else. Who else? We know it's not going to be Rocket Khan.
No, not if Kurt Angle's not there.
You see her come in the building and just randomly hit his music and she goes running out. But
Well,
but
we know how Kurt Angle feels about black women.
complete opposite of Hogan, right?
Right?
Like imagine him rice attorney. We got two old kids we can't do.
Well, like you've seen Modern
Uh,
Family, right?
yeah.
The dad in the middle family with the kids, Phil, has
Yeah.
a proclivity for black women. So when an attractive black woman wants to move into his neighborhood because he's a realtor, he tries to dissuade her, and then when she's like, "Oh, I didn't think you were a racist," and then she drives away, and Phil's like, "No, you got it all wrong. I don't want you to move in because my wife knows I have a thing for black women." And then he turns around, and his wife's right there. He goes, "Oh, hi, honey." I very much think that's Kurt Angle.
Oh, oh, that is hilarious. But yeah, I'm trying to go through some more names. Them the immediate ones that come to my mind. Like if it was Kyler Ray, I kind of be disturbed. I don't even know. Like to me, if I think if either one of us running the show, I don't know if I even let that happen.
No, I
So like
wouldn't.
we let because if we going okay, she get through the first round, is she gonna be there for the second round? You know,
She
and
gonna be there for the end of the match?
and that's not the joke. This is a real thing. Like the ups and downs of what she's going through is a legit thing. So I would hope to God they wouldn't pull something goofy like that. Um, but yeah, it could be anybody, man. It's definitely not gonna be SoCal Val. Um, so that's not a thing. God, I hope it's not. I hope it's not real Viscount.
Thank you for muting yourself on that one.
That was gonna make me take back what I said about Kylie. Uh,
Well, we did find
uh,
one person that is further down the list than Kylie.
yeah, because I mean, at that point, I'm gonna just let Jordan do a bunch of handicap matches. It's not. Oh
I think you
man.
hit it though with Jazz. I think you hit it with Jazz. I think it's gonna be Jazz. And
That'd
if it
be
is
really
Jazz,
cool.
that's the team I'm picking to win.
Now that's the real Team Hoss right there.
Yes, Team Haas. All right. So we got one last story, and then we're gonna hop to the download. Marcus, Impact reportedly tried to sign Kurt Angle. again. It's real. It's damn real. Yeah. According to PW Insider, Impact officials made a strong pitch to get Angle to come back following his departure from the WWE. The idea was that Angle would make his return at Bound for Glory, and there's no word yet as to why the return did not happen, but it was noted that talks stalled for whatever reason. That makes me hopeful that they're still going to get it done, though. Angle is rumored to be showing up at Survivor Series, but that's not expected to be a full-time return. He's expected to be part of The Undertaker's send-off, which makes sense. The Undertaker's best match ever, Fight Me, You Nerds, was against Kurt Angle at No Way Out 2006. Fucking fight me. I dare you. Not Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle. Not WrestleMania, No Way Out. So it makes sense that Kurt Angle, Undertaker's greatest opponent ever, would be at the event. I'm not being facetious when I say that, Marcus. I truly do believe that Kurt Angle was Undertaker's best match ever. I'm just emphasizing it more for a point of dramatic effect to piss people off on purpose.
Oh no, 100%. Because you know somebody is gonna come. Like, first off, how dare you say that? You do know he had a match with Heidenreich.
First of all, how dare you? Second of all, fuck you.
Heidenreich, Jesus. But yeah, you're not wrong.
Heidenreich. So Heidenreich was going to be a frozen Nazi. Did you know that?
He was going to be a what?
A frozen Nazi.
As a gimmick?
Yep. Vince had the brilliant idea to have Heidenreich be a 60-year-old unthawed Nazi super soldier. That idea was quickly dropped. Ironically enough, Seth Rollins was a little upset that it was dropped for some reason or other.
Oh, man.
Because it's the joke that never ends. I'll make it go on and on, my friend. People started thinking that Seth Rollins was a Nazi fucker. Then he turned out who he was.
Freaking, he walked into Vince's office and the racist inside him got a wreck. Like, oh, I can do so many offensive things with you. But, yeah, Kurt Angle, Undertaker. I'm probably going to go back and watch that match. The match was just damn good. But, yeah, I mean, look, even at his limited ability, I don't know what amount of gas he got left in the tank, but I think Impact could really do a good sell of your boy Shamrock and Angle for like a last hoorah. Because, I mean, you can only go up from freaking Baron Corbin.
I don't even care if it's the worst match ever, Marcus. I would love Angle and Shamrock. I don't care if it's two old dudes like slapping each other and like falling into one another because they're so gassed because they're 90,000 years old. I want to see that match, Marcus.
They both start off in the corners, and then the bell rings, and they run into each other with boots. They both hit the ground, and then they both set up, locking in ankle locks. Just screaming at each other.
Just on their sides, cranking each other's ankles.
Exactly. That's perfect.
100% on board with this. 100% on board with it. Oh. All right. Marcus, any final thoughts?
No, man.
If you're listening live on Twitch, that's it. We'll see you next week. If you're on the YouTube, look down below. We got another part of the show for you. We're talking Drew McIntyre's title win and probably some other stuff. We ran through most of it on this one. Wait, how much do we have left to talk about? We got Marty Bell gone from the NWA. We talked about Angle, which was supposed to be saved for the download. Damn it, Chad. Drew McIntyre. Fuck it, we'll just do it all on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I guess we can do a little quick send off for the Rascals, man. We didn't say talk, so you know.
Well, we got like 10 minutes worth of content. No reason to download it, so we're just gonna hit all the remaining three. Firstly, Marcus, the Rascals send off. Let's handle that before we say goodnight, or before we because we got two other segments to do. So Rascals, they're done in Impact. Thoughts?
No, man. I mean, look, it's three superbly talented guys, three guys that they put together, and I think the best things to watch over the last 2 years. It seems like 'cause they said they've been in there for 2 years. It feels like they've been there longer,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. I mean, look, they some great matches, great memories. I kind of wish those guys would have got the tag straps in some form or another. And maybe one of them got the X division, whether it been Trey and the other two, all three of them holding gold, but that didn't happen despite multiple attempts. For some reason, they just preferred them to be the bridesmaid, not the bride. But I appreciated all the stuff that they did. I think I'm the bigger fan of Desmond. Uh, it's not because he's black. He's always felt like the standout to me in that regard. And I love his he do like a handspring double like Pele
Mm-hmm.
type of deal, double leg that I love. And obviously the final flash is ironically talking about the Pele is the spiral tap. Um, so I've always appreciated that, man. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. I appreciate the fact that they clearly were, very emotional about it. I always appreciate when people, you know, uh, dig their time and impact. Cause some people kind of just look at it as a transitionary thing to try to get elsewhere and then be treated like dog crap. But these guys was emotional and they really appreciated their time and impact, and so did I. So the final match was definitely a four-way high five. Everybody get their stuff in, but it's the farewell show, man. You gotta put some flair into it.
I think the Rascals' time and impact was about as good as you could expect. It would have been great to see them with the titles, but for whatever reason, that was never to be. I do have a feeling, though, that had they stuck around, they would have, but I have a feeling that the rumors of them going to NXT is true. So I think they told them, like, hey, at the
Mm.
end of our deal, we're going to be leaving for Orlando. And Scott D'Amore probably went, we don't tape in Orlando anymore, kids. What are you doing? And he's like, no, we're going to NXT. And D'Amore's like, I mean, we could go to Orlando and I don't know, like open up the Impact Zone or something. I don't know. Just trying to find a way to keep them. So I think when they realized that they were gone, they're like, all right, well, we're gonna switch gears and get Triple X over, Triple XL over. Triple X is a completely different tag team. Get Triple XL over, and get Rohit over, and go from there. But I did enjoy a lot of the Rascals. Des has actually been there longer than the other two. I think
Yeah,
he debuted in 2017 because he debuted in
yeah,
the
because he won.
Super X Cup or whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah, that's why. Yeah, he debuted in the Super S Cup. So yeah, that was a while ago, man.
Back when Jeff Jarrett still ran the world. So, it'll be sad. I will say that the best segment that they ever filmed was not shown on the clip show, which was when Trey was impersonating Sammy, and they're like, no, Trey, no. No, Trey. Put him down, Trey. Thumbs up.
Oh man.
They had a lot of fun. So it'll be a sad. It's sad that they're gone, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Marcus, speaking of it's a thing, Survivor Series is like what, Sunday? Something like
Yeah,
that.
go figure. Yeah.
So we should talk about the fact that they're like, hey, Drew, you want the belt back? Because that's basically what they did. Drew McIntyre is now the world champion of Raw for the second time. And he won it after Sheamus gave him a sword. So that's a thing. Marcus, did you watch this? And if so, what?
Yeah, obviously Raw is mostly garbage for the most part, as is its narrative. Um, but it was interesting. I was wondering what they was going to. I mean, obviously they dropped it to Orton. You would think that for the purposeful long term booking with everything that's been going on with Orton and him revert back to the Legend Killer and taking out all the legends, that putting the belt on him would eventually be for the fact that you would imagine that somewhere down the line Edge would come back, and then that would be the program. I don't ever have to see those two clash again. But that's me. but they dropped it here. Now I gotta feel like this was an audible because they sent Drew over to SmackDown Friday. Um, because Survivor Series, so anything can happen. The brand doesn't split doesn't mean shit. That's what happens. But they saw the potential with Reigns and McIntyre probably being the most looked forward to thing for that show because it means nothing. You can't ask people that just got on the brand to have to have brand loyalty to a brand they just joined 2 weeks ago. Not that it ever mattered because everybody flip flop back and forth anyway. But this show means nothing. The winning those matches, this Survivor Series matches means nothing. They've lost all their luster. The last time it even felt worth a damn was when the Vigilante could appear. So.
Oh, can we? All right, listen. I won't deny that Sting showing up at Survivor Series was 2014, 2016 wasn't cool as shit.
Oh yeah.
And the match was really good. But can we forget everything? Yeah. Can we just forget Sting was ever in that company?
Oh God.
Never forgive them.
Yeah.
Never forgive them.
That was the last time that really was anything. But yeah, like I said, I feel like they did the big pivot because they saw the potential with Reigns. Those two coming together could be likely going to be the best thing on that show. I was wondering if they was going to use that particular thing as a way to get the title on Miz because obviously he took the briefcase off Otis, which, looking in hindsight, was probably one of the worst ideas. But again, it's a long list. But I knew something was up when he came out with the big ass Claymore sword and he had pyro with his entrance all of a sudden. So they kind of telegraphed it in a way because you don't get that special of an entrance the way that they did with him just to lose. And of course, I'm never going to complain about, Blandy Orton taking the L. So.
Blandy Orton. That dumb joke is more entertaining than he's ever been in his 20-odd career. Ugh. 18 years of suck.
I can't believe I didn't send you the clip. He did a promo telling Drew, all I could do was hear your voice in the background as he was talking. He was like, he was basically like, you know how long I've been in this company, everything I've been through, and how long you've been here, like a cup of coffee or whatever. You took 19 years to get the strap. Like, do you know how many times I've been suspended? How many times I've been fined? He was like, I'm the most fined and suspended superstar in this company's history. Like, do you know why I get off with all that stuff? I was like, this is the perfect moment. This is the perfect chance setup. And I was laughing the whole time. I was like, what is it, Randy? What is it? He was like, because I'm the best wrestler ever. I was like, oh, that's not it. That's not it.
That ain't it, homie. Sorry, bud. That ain't it. God. He makes me angry. All right, Drew's the champ. I don't care. Let's talk about something I do care about. Marty Bell. Love Marty Bell. She's a Cleveland sports fan, so clearly she has poor taste in sports.
Cleveland sports fan. Drop dead gorgeous.
Right.
Very talented. But as continues to go, seems to be the narrative with NWA now. Another one bites the dust.
I was actually going to use another song. I was going to use the VeggieTales Keep Walking song because apparently the talent keeps walking straight out the door. And here's another one. Allison Kay, Marty Bell, who else? Thunder Rosa might be gone. Who else? Stark, something Stark, Jason Stark, Tony Stark, Starky Stark, and the Funky Bunch.
Basically, everybody that was involved in the women's scenario. Allison, I'm guessing Melina went back into retirement. I don't know. Wait a minute, wasn't she supposed to debut? Never mind. Allison, Thunder Rosa. We know what Tasha Steelz is.
Oh, that's
The young
I
lady that they.
forgot Tasha was in NWA.
Yeah, I forgot the other young lady that he kind of used as fodder.
Ashley
But
Vox.
yeah, yeah, that's
And
Vox.
and she's
Uh,
debuting with her. Well, not debuting because she actually wrestled Disco on an episode of Impact like a year ago. She's coming back to Impact with her
yeah,
sister for the Sea Stars.
yeah. I see that. So that whole scenario is gone. Like I feel like the only woman that may still be around is that a young interesting blonde that looks a certain way that didn't really impress me and Chad, who had the Valentine girl. Um,
She looks like a porn star.
that has yet to realize it.
No, I genuinely
And
mean
then
like there's a starlet out there who looks just like her. But I can't for the life of me remember her name. Not that I would know the name of a porn star. Like, what do you think I am? Some kind of creep?
of course not.
I think
Like
it's
what's the
Allie
freak having a
Nicole.
fan? I don't know that one. Um,
Mark is like typing away. I don't know that one yet.
Nope, didn't catch the name. But do they still have Camille? Jeez, I mean, well, I guess she's a package deal with Magnus.
Well,
I mean,
package
all
deal with
this.
one of them.
Oh yeah, no, Thomas Lattimore.
Thumb.
Tommy.
I'm Thumb Latimer. I like to lay in ice cream cases in Japan. Fuck off, Thumb. You douche. It's only a matter of
Those
time
women
before
are
Aldis drops the belt, I have to imagine, because everyone else has. Like, literally, every other champion has dropped the belt. Murdoch won what was it, the national title?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a TV champion?
Was that see a national title TV? That was Stark. Stark dropped that. No.
Aaron
Okay,
Stevens was a national champion.
Yeah, Aaron Stevens. Stark was or was he? Yeah, I feel like he was the TV champion, and he dropped that to Dice.
And
Who did
Dice dropped
drop
that to Elijah Burke, because apparently Dice is we heard that he might be done with the company, although those rumors have been long, since the spring. So Burke's the new TV champion, which is can't wait until Impact signs him back, because I'm just expecting everyone in the NWA to leave at this point. You have Murdoch as the national champion. Steven and who the hell just won the tag team titles?
No, it's not Drake and Storm anymore. Okay.
No. It's someone because they just brought him in with Stevens. It's I'm googling it right now. And let's see. It is J.R. Kratos. That's right. So J.R. Kratos and Stevens are the new tag champions. The women's champion is Serena Deeb. The only person who hasn't lost the belt in the last 3 weeks has been Nick Aldis. So, expect it at this point, I would imagine. Because I can't imagine that Aldis is willing to go down with a sinking ship. Because I can't see the NWA sticking around.
Yeah, he's always prided himself on being, just from his words, a businessman first. And just business is just not peaking right now. And it's interesting how cool it would be to see these championship changes if the product was still going.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's just it's the way it goes, man. It was because I think we talked about they were supposed to be in the process of trying to get legitimate TV. Because I think you talked about it like Corbin talked about, like not necessarily trying to be the one to fund this thing long term just by himself. So it just sucks, man, because that product has some momentum, not the most momentum they could have had, but I thought it was growing, I thought it was building. It they was getting names, stuff was starting to bubble up. But between the Skrull thing, COVID, and then these names dropping, it's just like the worst perfect storm, if you will. So yeah, man, it sucks.
I wouldn't be surprised, like even a little bit, if we find out that the AEW is is signing or is acquiring NWA at some point. Like I
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised at
yeah,
all.
yeah. You're right about that. That'll be, because some Khan could do, that'll might get it out of Corgan's hands if he feels that it's a lost cause at this point, and a lot of those guys, I would imagine, feel like they'll fare better over there when they're trying to go, to the other place. So, we'll see what happens. But this story is just continuing to diminish as the weeks go on.
It should be interesting to see what ends up happening with the NWA, considering that it's very possible that this is the end of the hurrah, if you will. Just like,
Yeah,
where do they go from here? Pope, Impact would love to have you back.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, as a performer, because like I said, like I would have definitely wanted him back on commentary just so he could just be driving Josh the whole time. But who better to do it than the person that has to literally put up with him for the rest of their life?
That's I would love to see Pope back in a ring and Impact. I would if we're gonna start divvying up the NWA carcass like it's a child in a divorce hearing, I would love to take Aldis and the belt and Pope and Ziggy Dice and Eli Drake and
Yeah, man.
AEW can have whatever's left.
And I'd scoop a little extra since we kind of down a lady. They could sneak Melina in there. Well, no, that might not work with Taya. Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought about that. Okay.
Ooh, built-in feud. Johnny on a pole match. Oh, one final thought before we say goodnight tonight. Apparently, Nia Jax is a anti-vaxxer.
That's what I was going to go into that. Like, before we go, never go full Jax.
Never go full Nia. Don't do it, folks. It's not good for your health. Oh,
Looking at that Samoan hierarchy pole of women, Tamina's way above her.
now she is, and she's the daughter of a murderer. Alleged murderer.
I forgot about that. That's so true.
Never forget. I bet you Roman's just like, how are we slightly related? Nia Jax and Gina Carano. What the hell? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, what the going on with Gina Carano? Like, I'm like, was I wrong about, chunking her way past Rousey? But then again, I'm like, wait a minute. They might be in the same damn category because we're talking about Rousey here. And even if she wasn't on the side of Gina Carano, I just don't want to hear her opinion on anything. So it's it sucks. But yeah, like you're right. Like, how would you even sit down and have that type of conversation about vaccines with somebody who literally had to rebeat leukemia?
Oh my God. Like, if I'm Roman, I'm just staring at her like, you stupid. You mother.
You just made the list.
Speaking of a super spreader, Jericho, if you go, you'll kill us all. Then so be it.
And that's coming from his video game character.
All 300 pounds of it, apparently. All right, no download tonight because we went an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 14 minutes, and we're good. There's nothing else to cover. RealNerdCorp.com, RealNerdCorp.com. We are on Twitter at NERDCorp. We are on Instagram at RealNerdCorp. Marcus, your personals are Paradox Kid on Twitter, PARADOXKID. Did I spell that right?
Yes.
I kind of got confused.
Yes, sir.
I saw a pretty girl and I went, ooh. It's my kryptonite. You can also find Marcus on his other podcast, The True Penny Show, which you can find on Twitter at True Penny Show, TruePennyShow. You can also find me on Twitter, Chad Nerdcorp, ChadNerdCorp, and on the Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut. For Marcus and I'm Chad Porto. Be sure to check out realnerdcorp.com. Marcus, myself, possibly Zach, and others will be convalescing to talk about our next grouping of Hall of Fame nominations as well, but our awards for the year. So we'll see what happens with that. I think the Hall of Fame stuff will happen in December to give us a little bit of a breathing period. But we will sit down and talk nominees this week, so should be interesting. So look for that. We'll talk more about that next week on the show. But that's it. We're done. No Making an Impact for the next 2 weeks. But we should be back sometime in December. So, yeah, that's it. We're good. Marcus, you and I will be covering more Impact stuff for the next 2 weeks.
Hey, man, that's perfectly fine with me. Maybe we'll get down to this Scooby-Doo mystery that's become Johnny Bravo's death. Freaking Johnny Swinger killing somebody, pulling a 9 out of a fanny pack.
Speaking of which, Tom and Jerry trailer. Mwah!
Oh, my God, man.
So good. Marcus, say good night.
Good night, me.